Okay. There's the YouTube. And there's the Marla. So, let's see, we've got audio, recording, good. Looks like things are working out right now. 9 minutes. So we got the show on the road. 9 minutes, 9 minutes. We need some lights on. Testing. Okay. Good. There it is. fact. I see! Harry! Oh, this image needs to be moved down slightly. Nope. Is that better? I don't like that little gray angle there. So my clock says 2 minutes, but I want to try a new countdown. I made these countdowns to start the channel. Let's see. got a new intro kind of thing. I made sure I was in green today. It's St. Paddy's Day, and this is a special edition. And I didn't want to get pinched. I did pinch 2 people. I don't know if you guys still play this game, but we'll just get ready. This is like my Mr. Rogers opening today. I do love this scarf, but it's so nice out. I don't think that'll be coming into any use. And actually, a little more festive little pinch hat. I am a man of many hats. And also, a friend of mine came to visit from Creston and brought me this wine. So it's not Irish whiskey. I had thought about it, but I do need to drive home after this session. We are going to be drawing beautiful and elegant Miss Marla Singer today. You can go get this photo or just draw along, whatever you like. This is by photographer Kevin Stenhouse, and I asked him permission if we could use it. The only thing that I've done different is I put a little censorship bar over parts. YouTube is very picky, and they have been taking off some of my archives. I also want to thank you guys, because when I first started this live stream, a year ago today, approximately, we get about 8 viewers. And I went down the list, and one of the videos has almost 1,000 views. So at first I thought, you know, my friends are joining me, and I appreciate that, but people are actually watching these things. And that means a lot to me, because I want to deliver value for you guys. And today we'll be drawing, and we're going to do it the old-fashioned way like I did in the beginning. Just on newsprint, just with cheap materials. You'll see in a second my messy pile. And then next week, I'm going to transfer and show how I would do a Zorn painting with the Zorn palette. And the reason is because my good friend and fellow figurative artist Keith Springall challenged me to paint on Wednesdays. And I was in a meeting with the C-Space CEO yesterday, and it looks like we're going to be able to open up in April. And so I will be booking models and getting back to things. More information will come out in the Atelier Artista newsletter, so sign up on the website. And which means this live stream won't be going on much longer. I might consider doing it on a Sunday just for myself, because it's great for me to have the accountability, because I believe I'm talking to a camera. I could just be talking to myself, but I believe you're out there. And I see some of you guys are leaving me messages already, which I love. So for St. Paddy's Day, may you have great luck, and get yourself a drink, and we'll get drawing here. This is BC wine. It's good. I'm a fan of dry white. Thank you, Paula, for bringing me this delicious treat. I'm just going to do a little tilt down, guys, and then we will get going. And the rants will probably be fun today, because I've had quite the exciting past week. I'm sorry that I missed last week, being out of town. Okay. Let's see where this takes us. I probably need a little bit more wine first. I got to drink it in the beginning and then sober up. I'll also be drinking water and Pepsi. Okay, I gotta move this image down a little bit. I'm not liking that little gray line you guys are seeing. It might be inevitable. So, we're still going to do, let me see what I should call this type of timing. Pontomoro timing is the 25 minutes. Oh yeah, and I'll adjust the microphone. There you go. You guys are revved. New intro. There's also countdowns for the breaks. But, man, you know, this piece of paper has lasted a year. And I do not, I treat it like the jacket. Just chucking it around. February 10th, I think February 24th was the last one of these on newsprint. Drawing Sarabella. Sarabella's back in town this week, and I get to see her on Thursday. We're gonna do, or no, sorry, Friday. Tomorrow, Thursday, is my friend-iversary with Melissa. What a great week it's been. So this piece of newsprint happens to not have an image on both sides, but I am actually drawing on the back of pages. A lot of people, they come and they take classes and they forget that all these pages have backs. It's newsprint. Use it, you know? Don't worry about your practice, you know, the quality. So I'm just gonna draw on the last sheet that has no image on the back. The reason being is next week when I do the transfer, I'll charcoal the back. So if there was a drawing, I would totally have lost it. But since there's not a drawing, it doesn't matter. See, there's a drawing on the back of that. So you want to have about 10 to 20 sheets underneath, some sort of padding, because when we do the toning, you need that softness to capture the material properly. If you're doing the Atelier Sharpen, of course. Yes, I'm trying not to say I have, for the last couple days, on and off, had like crazy headaches coming out of nowhere, and I thought I was, I don't know, like my back was sore before that, and I thought maybe I was dehydrated, but I've been drinking a lot of water, and then some hippie friends of mine have telling me that maybe it's because I'm ascending. So we'll go with that. I actually had such a bad headache, so I meditated, and I fell asleep in an upright meditation position, which is kind of unheard of, I think. So, sorry for jumping to tangents here. Back to the timing. So we're going to use the timing, which is, I'm going to call it the Michael Jordan timing. So Pontemoro timing is about 25 minutes of drawing, 5 minutes of break. Michael Jordan timing is number 23. 23 minutes with a 7-minute break. We're going to take a little bit longer break for the first few, because I feel like self-care and rest is important too. Now, speaking of important, I'm gonna double fist here. Pepsi, 0 or whatever, and then 1. This to give me my energy back because I've been working all day, and this to loosen up the hand. You can see my mishmash of tools here. Oh, delicious. Delicious. Oh, this is not as loud as it usually is. The battery must be dying. So 23 minutes, there's 45 seconds extra, but don't worry. So I don't know. I haven't been at the studio for a week. I've been down in Waterton installing the bio walls, which is why we couldn't do this last week. The Wi-Fi was spotty at best, but also I was leaving my hotel room at 6:50 and I wasn't getting back till 10 at night. Those guys worked me like a dog. Totally worth it. I can't wait to reveal this big project I've been part of, guys. Okay, we are using a layout pencil, it looks like, or Conte or something. It doesn't matter. It's whatever's here. Drawing and mark making goes back, you know, to our cave days, really. That's all the pencil and the mark making really is. We need to remember our history in this sense. So, if you have the picture of Marla, I want you to imagine you're hanging a plum and get yourself a center line. Now, I'm going to draw with a little bit of a margin all the way around because I'm intending on making this a painting, but please try to use, that's the Pepsi, as much of the painting surface, of the drawing surface as you can. You don't want things to touch. That's just bad planning. If it's on purpose, maybe, and we are going to draw the entire body. We're not cutting off any limbs or doing a zoom-in view. We're going to do the whole thing. If you're at home and you can print out the image on your printer, you've already got the value scale of black and white. And Mr. Kevin Stenhouse's photo is beautifully taken. We've got a lovely fall of white on the lower legs. And let's just go back up and look at it quickly. Yeah, I'm reaching over my head. Okay. Are we there yet? There we go. Oh, are we there? Okay. I think so. I actually have to move the screen to see. We're too high. Okay, so I'm a one-man show here, guys. Let's just analyze. This is good for the thought process. Maybe you do things a little bit differently. I'm gonna imagine a plumb line down, you know, halfway through. And I'm gonna look for, maybe it touches this part of the neck through the clavicle, down the side of the breast. You could use the straight edge of the plinth maybe, which goes up to the nipple, to the armpit, to the shoulder. You wanna find yourself some sort of alignment in which to decide which quadrant something is in, a plumb line. If your eye is trained, you don't need to do this anymore, but it's a good thing to have relationships so that you can measure out. I learned this in the bark drawing, the classical method, actually hanging a string attached to a washer or an actual plumb, or if you're into the hippie stuff, which it seems I'm really getting into lately, you know, one of those pendulums that you can tell yes or no answers with. I call BS, but you also want a horizontal alignment. Now, I'm not saying it has to be equidistant. However, it might be. And this might be a really good place to put it. Across the leg, you've got a point here, and also at the process of the ulna, right? Use your landmarks. But it might be literally halfway, so if you took a piece of paper and folded it, you'd have some sort of quadrant. Think like a hunter and you've got your sniper rifle in your mind. I will draw it a little bit so that you can see how I'm making some of my decisions for those of you who need this sort of thing. It's helpful. It's helpful. So now we'll go back down to the drawing surface. I do need a cameraman, anyone? Or a studio buddy. Okay. Just go a little straighter-ish. Whatever, we'll adjust as we go. So it's right above my head, and I'll try not to lean into the picture, guys. We do the best we can. All right, so let me just make sure that looks all right. And now I will also start recording, because in the past I learned, I did a bunch of live streams that YouTube took down. For whatever reason. I think it had to do with what I said, not necessarily what I drew. They took down the beautiful Michelangelo drawing because I said the P word, that when you use an emoji, you could use the eggplant. And I think it was more what I said than what I was drawing because there was no nudity. So that's also why our image that you guys saw is blanked out across her chest, because I do want this to get archived and for people to be able to watch it. Okay, it's been 16 minutes and I haven't even started drawing yet. I'm gonna blame the wine. Okay, so let's have a plumb line. I'll draw it a little bit dark. And because this is a construction drawing for a painting, I can leave it a little bit messy. What I'm going to do is really map this out and talk more about anatomy. Upon looking, I said that you could use the leg for the horizontal. I'm actually going to use the top of the back knee, going across the bottom, the tibia tuberosity, kind of where the leg fold is, which will be about here, across to the plinth. So I'm looking for more point, and then her hand. So you can put your hand in front of your view and figure out, and that seems to be about halfway. When we do these long form drawings, it's a lot more planning and measuring. It's a little high. That's okay, we'll elongate this bottom leg a little bit actually. I love the paper, massage the paper. Drink the vino. Harry, I wish you could be upright and out of bed drawing with us, but I'll check in with you verbally. I really love St. Patty's Day, because when I was a kid, so I'm just gonna draw the big part of her body mass with curves. So it's kind of I don't know. I do things how I want, differently every time. So rather than constructing just outside shapes, just kind of getting some gesture here. This is not the ideal pencil, actually. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. It's like Christmas when I go on in here. I haven't sharpened anything because I haven't been here. Well, let's just go with something big and soft and bulky and not properly sharpened. This is the non-committal part of the drawing, so don't worry about it. Use the soft edge. I'm doing big strokes, you know? Maybe her arm winds up here, just feeling it out. Her hand kind of points. Squint your eyes. I might end up drawing bigger. I don't know yet. This could just be a toss out. Let's say her foot is down here. Let's just say. And at first I'm just gonna draw it like a wedge. Right? Simple shapes. It's just patterns of light and dark. All of this is dark. I'm pretty happy with that. Might bring this arm in a little bit though. She feels small to me. I want to make big on this painting, so maybe place her neck next. Now, it's not good to draw the neck like a tube, but when I squint my eyes, this kind of goes up to her jawline. So a little bit of negative space being drawn here. We'll say she's like this for now. No measurements being taken here. I'm not committing to much. Things are going to change, and I know that. Just like in life. Maybe I'll ask Marla to come model this pose for us after when we reopen. So guys, I'd never been to Waterton before, and this project that I've been helping Metro Graphics with has been in Waterton, and man, it's beautiful. I didn't have a chance to do anything while in Waterton. Just finding where that shape may go, maybe. Sometimes I do it like a teardrop. You can kind of see that indication there. The angle across in between. This is often where people start, the torso. So we're going to make her more slender here. I think that's pretty good. Deltoid. Just think, simplify. The distance from the knuckles to the wrist is about the same distance of the length of the fingers. you know, there's different types of hands, but so I just found the wrist, I found the knuckles, and then I'm looking for the negative space. Rather than drawing the fingers, I'm actually drawing the space between them. I find that works really well at first. It's more architectural, but it helps you get it right rather than drawing mittens. And you know, I'm just dancing around here. This is meant to be an enjoyable process. It's like building a puzzle of shapes. And so we don't have to start anywhere specific. When we're learning, it's a great idea to have a plan, of course. And you guys know I'll teach a variety of ways based off the level of drawing someone is at, where they're at, what they can already see. So I might draw some curves to explain the roundness of the body so that I don't lose that as I'm drawing. And I'm exaggerating these things, especially because as I go, I'm going to lose things. So the leg is slightly going up. We start to tighten up as we go. A good lesson for animators too, exaggerate the figure parts. Actually, when I was doing the start video there and you guys were making comments about the music, I can't hear anything on my end. I totally forgot what music I put on there. It was Creative Commons. It's free. It's free music. Until I figure out how to make some money doing this, I'm not buying good music. We'll just use the free stuff. So any musician friends out there who want to help a guy out, the musician friends probably aren't watching the drawing video, unfortunately for me. I do have them. I'm willing to trade. So just finessing some areas here and there. I'm even going to start drawing some of the shadow shapes. So I'm not just drawing contour and anatomy today. The separation of light and dark. And that's why I actually really loved Kevin's photo here, is this beautiful classical top light. Marla, who's always graceful and elegant in her poses. Half the time I don't think she even knows she's doing it. She's so swan-like. This has to go up a little bit higher. But it looks very classical, you know? So I feel so fortunate that we are permitted to be inspired and draw from his work this week. Maybe in the future it'll be a beautiful partnership between photographer and drawer. I haven't photographed any models myself in a very long time, but I do prefer the challenge of drawing from life, which is much harder in my opinion. She's not moving. Does make it rather easy for me for these videos. Relatively, of course. So I think I'll bring this arm in a little bit. Horizontally from this nipple is where I see the cast shadow, which is curving around the forearm. So I'll draw with the tip of my pencil and I'll intensify something like that. We don't want to lose these things as we go. And that can happen. Her ribs. It's all dark back here. So I might find that I need to make her thinner. We'll see what happens. But all of this, including the background, can be a dark, a lost edge. Going down the forearm, so I'm using this part of the pencil. I wish I had a canvas ready because I feel like I can get this drawing done rather quick since I'm not needing to bring it to full render here today. We'll see what happens though. I start to talk and then I start to slow down. I could spend an hour just on this hand if I wanted to. I will indicate this box, I think. It is in alignment with the nipple, the vertical, the plinth. Gotta love words like that. So I have a lisp, and lots of people say they don't notice it until I say it. When I was young, I had to be in the special class. God, I don't even know how one would talk about that today in this woke world. And I went to speech pathology. I couldn't say S's. You know, she sells seashells by the seashore. Still have difficulties with that one. So plinth is a funny one for me. Plinth. I can say it now, but I've got to take my time. I kind of feel like Pepsi more than wine. On the keto diet, I can drink those Pepsi Zeros I discovered. Oh, cheers. This one's good. Kootenai VQA just says white wine. I had a wine up in Waterton that I really liked, and then I found out it came in a box. So I think my plan is to buy a few boxes now of this delicious wine. Nice and dry. Okay, so I switched to white wine because certain artists in this city at certain openings, you may know who or what I'm talking about. I think I want her face in closer. There's like this arc of the arm to the face. That's quite lovely. And rather than do, you know, just the atelier style drawing, there's a lost edge there, we're constructing something with the intention of having our own flavor in it. We are inspired, this is royal we, I guess, inspired by Kevin's piece and learning from it, but you know, maybe I'll elongate the legs, maybe I'll push stuff over. We're also using it as a launch pad for our own work. So fear not. Is it you not having the skill, or is it purposeful, right? That's kind of what we're after. So when I look straight down the shoulder, and kind of drop this idea of the plum. That's where the shadow from the armpit actually is, and the side of the breast. So either my breast is in the wrong place, which could happen, or it's the wrong scale. We'll try that. So I squint my eyes. I'm looking for long lines. She's got this beautiful red in her hair that will be quite fun to get in the Zorn palette. I can triangulate from the shoulder over to find out where the ear is. You know, just a mishmash of techniques to solve our problems, or to solve the riddle of how to make this image. I'll use the same kind of idea. So if I think the chin is there, but the chin should be below the shoulder in a horizontal plane. So I'm going to drop it further. Maybe the shoulder needs to come up a little bit more. Back and forth. It's like a dance. In art school, they called that the push and the pull. Push and pull, back and forth. Okay, so guys, the beeper went off. Let's try. I don't know how the volume is going to be on this, but I made little countdowns. The first one will be hearts, I hope. So, 5 minutes. There'll be some music. You're not going to hear me or the birds. Let's see if this works. Try this. Maybe my files are gone. Guys, sorry. Trying. I don't know why the video's not coming up. It says it's on here. That music, is it too loud too? Sorry guys, I'm trying. It's not working. I made beautiful sparkle movies. Let's try. Okay. And voila! It seems to have worked. Thanks for bearing with me. Trying something new. Trying to make it an exciting channel. And yes, there'll be more of those with more music. So, great if you tell me what you think. We're going to get back to it. 23 minutes on the clock. Michael Jordan timing. There's also that movie 23 with Jim Carrey where he sees 23 everywhere. I do have a question if you guys are engaged right now. Could you hear the birds and me talking while my movie was playing? And about the volume, if it's like super loud. I can't hear what you guys hear through the OBS software. In fact, I don't know if it'll just stay on a black screen or switch out. So trying to stay active with this. That music was a little bit better though, wasn't it? And I should have made it instead of stars with a little St. Patrick's Day theme. Oh, I put 1 hour on there. I have wine going, but I was saying earlier that I've had a headache because I'm ascending. And I just feel like I need water. You prefer the first track, Harry? Well, we'll see what the other two do for you guys. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Got to use my After Effects skills for something. So I'll tilt this armpit shadow a little bit. And now, you can see where this body's going. Just dancing around. I'll probably leave the legs till later. There's a fall of light here, so I can just use this as an opportunity to sharpen my pencil as well. It's super dull, so I'm using the side of it. Paper is like 30,000 grit, not 3,500 grit. It'll take forever to sharpen on this paper. And I'm using smooth newsprint on top of it, not the rough stuff, which would do better at sharpening. But you can see there's lines and striations. And that's because there's a shoulder on this pencil. Actually, that's sharpening quite quick. I'm surprised. So that's why we have the padding and we want to have this sharpen, is because we don't want striations. We want a nice smooth paper and a smooth finish if possible. But we're transferring this drawing. So this line will be transferred. The Terminator line will be transferred. The core or the form, shadows. That's what we need, and sort of the outline. We might choose a different color for the background. Maybe a dark green to bring out some more of the colors of her flesh. Make them pop. These are all decisions that we'll make next week, but we should keep them in mind this week, knowing that we're going to make a Zorn palette painting. The limitation in the Zorn palette really is that there's no blue, and we use ivory black as blue. So if you are doing Zorn palette with me next week, please have it ready. I like to put a little bit of ultramarine blue into my black as a slight cheat. Sometimes on the Zorn palette, it's also nice to add in a little bit of alizarin crimson if you're using vermilion or a cad red as your red, because that's quite warm. Enough about that stuff though for now. I feel like I might bring this leg out a little bit more as well. Yeah, we're gonna make the leg a little longer. This space here seemed too wide. I'm just using a cheap pink pearl eraser today. It's what I have. It's what's sitting there. People get all hung up about the materials that you make marks with. Oh good, you couldn't hear me or the birds. Thanks for that info, guys. We'll keep trying these little things. I don't have all the time in the world to make After Effects, But I thought I'd do something a little bit special this week. See if we can make this YouTube thing a little bit better. It's good to, like with our art practice, to always be striving for improvement. If only my roommate could hear me say that. So the knee is actually going to be there. I erased down, and this big bony bit that we see, the part of the tibia, the front of the tibia, tuberosity. So where this point is, if I go across horizontally, that's where the knee's turning below. Right? So using this idea, that's about where my horizontal line that I chose to use decided to be for this drawing. Even though we have been closed here, some students of these live streams have been booking and coming in. I am not charging anyone for these types of things, guys. I'm trying to give back as much as I can. This studio is still going to be here because of the generosity and work of Metro Graphics. That's Doug Driediger and John Twaddle. They have a studio downstairs at C-Space, and they have hired me for my skills. So painting and sculpting. And it's some of you who are in here, you saw those bio walls that were in here, the secret project that I can't really show in photo. Those have now been delivered to Waterton and installed. I can't share until the opening day. I hope you guys go down there. Waterton is amazing. My gosh. That is going to be my summer spot. Harry, hopefully you're coming camping with me. And Keith, if you're watching tonight, I am kidnapping you. Keith came in and helped us out. We were really in a time crunch, and it was great to have another painter, although I had a board meeting one night and couldn't really hang out with the guy, unfortunately. We might not hear or see from Keith tonight. He might be doing photos with Sarabella. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that guy. But I know we have our model in town, and she might be working. I don't know. I really look forward to being able to hire the models again and put a little cash in their pocket. One of the favorite things about having the studio, other than the opportunity to practice, honestly, opening this place, I wouldn't be where I am today in drawing. In my head, I was like, oh, I'm already a good drawer, right? But then spending the years of doing this now, I'm actually getting a little closer to where I thought I should be. Of course, so this bone, sorry, a little tangent there, lines up with the nose and is in front of the shoulder. So that leg could have gone further. I'm actually gonna look at the screen here and take some measurements because well, that's equal distant. So I'm taking a measurement from the point upward. I'm measuring the leg distance first that I want to use, and then turning it vertical. So this distance upwards lines up to the nipple. And I don't have that. So something is squat. Let's see here. That would move the nipple up quite a ways, moving the breast up. I like the leg length, so that when the leg was shorter, it was correct. I'm gonna go with this new length though. So we'll just move the breast up a little bit. I needed a little bit more room in here, I felt anyways. So, I mean, that's in my head talk. Move the breast up. I don't know how else to explain the thought process verbally outside of myself. I mean, we have lots of compression here and lots of expansion here, but we'll move the breast line up. Gives us a little bit more play down here. So this is the fold, the approximate fold, and then the turn in the belly. And there's some little fat folds. That might be an appalling thing for a model to hear, but they're squishing, and we have these things on our bodies. There's a mirror in my bathroom that is at pee height for a man. You guys out there will know what I'm talking about. And I don't know, guys, if you're looking at yourself enough, but you too are your own model. Check on yourself the things that you're learning about. I like to sometimes touch the parts of my body that I'm drawing. Oh, back to the camping. Yes. Yes, Harry. Camping. I'm booking Waterton sites for us, guys. Jeff, you too. You're invited. I'll get a big campsite. I guess April 1st you can start booking the campsites. I'm going to go out a couple times. There's a lot of trails I want to hit. Lots of cool stuff to see. So Waterton, just a little sidetrack, has, of course, for me, it's, you gotta, when you're hiking and stuff, I like to go for water. So if there's a chance to see a waterfall, I'm game. Love it. I saw a waterfall. I didn't see much while I was there because I was working. They've got Cameron Falls there. They've got this red rock formation that kind of looks like what you see at the zoo. It's really awesome and strange. Lots of hiking, but most importantly, what I'm learning from this BioWall project is that Waterton, 3 hours away, if you pin it at 120 and don't get pulled over, but regular drive, 3.5 hours. So, I mean, it's a little bit far, and it's windy there by Pincher Creek, but it has the richest biodiversity of all the national parks in Canada. I mean, there's flying squirrels. So, you're sure to see some really interesting stuff, and since I'm learning about it, and it's close, this summer I think that's going to be the spot. Yes, camping time, guys. In fact, I'm going to go see my mom this weekend, and because I got to get a new phone, and she's got one for me, and of course I love my mom, and I want to see her when I can. I haven't seen her for most of this pandemic. And I'll be going up to Cabela's, and they have on sale an outdoor rig for the kitchen. So I'm going to pick that up. I love buying camping gear, and I figure with my Virgo need to be organized and my desire for delicious food, I'll buy the kitchen unit. It's like fold-up table and bags that hang, and it's going to be fun. Hey, Keith is here! All right, Crownland, backcountry. Keith, you're coming camping. That's what the discussion is about. I'm booking us campsites, guys. I got the ins, and then you guys can see all this hard work that I've been doing. I can't wait to go camping this year. I love camping. But, you know, if this is a bunch of artists going on a camping trip, then there's going to be some painting and drawing and plein air action going on. Hopefully it's not too windy. There is also a rumor after the site opens that Mr. Trudeau will be cutting a ribbon. So I don't know if we'll be able to go down at that time. Cast shadow on the belly. There's a slight bit of light in here. Slight bit. Oh, great. You guys are all here tonight. Thank you, guys. Happy drinking day. Cheers to all my artist friends, and within a few weeks I'll be seeing you guys in here. I'm sure. What? Message retracted, Harry. Interesting. We got 9 minutes here. This is going a little too well, a little too quick. So squinting down, this area is light. So I'm putting more material there because though it is light, you got to think about the value scale. You've got your two darkest values, 8 or 9. It depends what scale you're using, your 10. And then directly above that, I would skip that value, value 8 or 7, not use it anywhere in your piece. And then everything up from that, which has material, will be your lights. There's very few whites, so you'll have your 0 or 1. It depends which way you guys are counting, and I wish I had a strip here to show you guys, but I think you get the point. So sometimes I need to add more material onto a light. And like this is light, but I need it to, the darks to look darker beside, but I need the light here, this darkest light, to be darker, and here, than the lights up here. So by adding more material, I have more expansion for having color on her, you know, or value on her. I'm losing my mind. Okay, anyways, if I take the armpit now and I'm saying that I move the breast up, but I think everything else can stay where it is. I might straighten out the shoulder, be a little bit less round. So where we choose curve lines, where we use straight lines, this is where, you know, more experience and having some sort of reasoning behind what you're doing is good. That's kind of, you know, I've been at this for a long time, and I'm still, to be honest, it sounds like I know what I'm doing, but a lot of it is puzzling through. That's why it's great to talk to fellow artists, or when we have our sessions here, to see what others are doing, and especially over time, like even watching this over time. I don't watch these videos again. Maybe I should. I think I would just hate them. We don't like the sound of our own voice, usually. And so I don't think I could handle it. I don't think I could handle it. Anyways, I want to talk a little bit more about camping. Guys, spring has been beautiful here so far. This arm is too far out. So, gonna bring the body in a little bit more. We're just gonna bring stuff over. Actually, I don't mind it. No, I am gonna bring the body over a little bit. I'll just push the hip out. You know, it is what it is here. I want to go hiking. I want to go camping already. Hearing these birds is great. I thought when I was in Waterton that I would be able to get more of my ornithology homework done. So my studies are falling a little bit behind. But, you know, it's not forever. So I'm going cross contour on the leg. It looks light, but it's not white. I'll probably erase out the whites to be a little bit brighter. A little bit, like there, beside the patella. There's a tendon that attaches to the top there. Your vastus lateralis and other muscles, so you get this like kind of straight line right there. The more you can learn, I mean within reason, of course guys, everything here take with a grain of salt, about anatomy will help you understand why you're making the choices that you're making, why you're turning the line this way. So this line is not straight. There are bumps and nuances that follow the shape of the muscles. And maybe we can talk a little bit about that here. There's the IT band, some will call it, going across, so you get this flat area. And that's why the shadow turns so quickly here, whereas it turns more slowly in some other areas on the body. So we're going to, since we moved the breast, we'll move the shadow over as well. hopefully we're still looking good to you guys. I mean, you are seeing kind of a weird angle. And in 4 minutes, we'll try another one of those videos. You can ignore them for sure. Hopefully they're worthwhile. Maybe they don't stay on this channel. I am going to bring back my personal YouTube. It's been a goal of mine for so long. Because I've been time-lapsing my personal painting projects, which are not done, which is why no one's seen them yet. I feel like sharing this way with you guys helps keep the conversation engaged, but also my job as a creator is to keep creating, but also to be here to inspire. You guys out there, I know who some of you are. It says there's 11 people on the channel right now, and I only see a few people leaving comments, but all of you are artists. And so I know that you know what I'm talking about. But those who are watching it later, who knows, maybe we'll luck out and this video will get 900 views. I would love to be able to do a lot more video stuff as well, and to be able to share more. So the goal is to get the personal YouTube channel back up and going, and it has been for some time, because it's kind of like, I don't know what it is, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's silly, it's weird stuff, it's keeps me excited. But because of all my years of and being a perfectionist, this is a Virgo trait, I'm told. Sun sign. See, I'm turning into a hippie, man. Damn. This shutdown has been great for spiritual growth for me. You know, questioning, because I now know that I'm not essential, that nobody cares about the artists. Just being a little sardonic there, guys. I still think it's one of the most important things, and people just don't have the value for it. They don't realize it. They would be very amiss without all the artists and creators of their Netflix specials that they're watching, you know? So because the breast has moved, I too will move the arm shadow to have that nice alignment, which makes the arm honestly look better, nicer and longer. And I always have problems with legs. I make them too wide, which is a habit. Talking through it helps me not do it. But the same goes for treating the arms. The arms, you know, that's the leg, that's the knee. The arms and the legs are the same, but for some reason, my eye height on arms, maybe because the legs are so low on the page, the eye height on the arms always looks good. They're nice and thin, but the legs get wide for some reason. So maybe finding a relationship between them can be useful, maybe even for you. So we got 45 more seconds here. So yeah, I'm moving slower, but it's starting to construct itself now, isn't it? Put a little arm there. This shadow got a little big, so I'll just go back to the body shape that I had. We'll see at the end how it fares to the real thing. I'll do a side-by-side comparison and be brutal. That's always fun. Are all artists that hard on themselves? You know, I think so. I think we all strive for better. It gives us the drive. So, wait, Michael Jordan timing. I jump back to the OBS. Let's try the heart countdown. Maybe this time it will work. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know why the heart one's not coming up. Let me try again. I'm still new to this thing. Okay, I'll turn the stars off and I'll... Hold on, guys. I made these for you. I'm just gonna try to add it back. My media could be missing or something. I could have just moved it and now it doesn't know where it is. Let's try this. Let's try this. That's how we do it. Okay. Interact. Oh. 23 minutes. It's kind of nice. Yes, yes. Okay, sorry. Back to, yes. The invitational retreat. I'm having repeating sound here. Yeah. We're for sure going on an art retreat. I'll pay for the campsites. Hopefully I got a little in with parks. We'll see what we can pull off here. Then we'll go do some plein air painting and stuff. So I have one more of those videos that I made and I'd like to play tonight, but it's kind of nice to have that little break in the countdown. It's good for me because I'm like talking for 3 hours straight, but also I run away and pee and fill up my wine again. Cheers, guys. Happy St. Paddy's. I hope you guys are having more luck than the Irish. More luck with your drawing. I feel like I'm having good luck with my drawing today. Sometimes it's luck. Other times it's not. All right. So I have a censorship mark over my image, so I'm gonna take it off since you guys aren't in the view because I need to see what's going on here. Just a Photoshop layer. Aha! Most excellent. I can see what I'm doing here. Where the dark line under the breast is, there's reflected light. For now, I'll just erase a little bit, but it's gonna have to have material on it. I hope Marla likes this. I hope Kevin likes this. We want to make our muses and other artists happy. If you're not following those guys, I did put their Instagrams and website in the list. If there's anyone out there, Jeff. Oh, Shiloh, hey! Thanks for joining. Little nephew type people are even watching this. Well, it's art and you're not too young. I'm drawing a nipple right now. We have them, even men, which makes no sense why we have them, but evolution's a funny thing. Speaking of evolution, I've been evolving my own personal self-care practice. I've never been someone who takes a bath. In fact, I don't feel very good when I take a bath. I feel like I'm gonna get sick. Same as a hot tub. It's a little too much for me. And I hurt my back. My good friend Harry there can relate right now. I hurt my back. My roommate was renovating the bathroom and there was debris on the stairs and I slid down the stairs, bit dust, and slammed my back on the bottom of the stairs. So I was in bed for a couple days there. Plus, getting old sucks, but this started out as an injury. And when we were moving the bio walls, I had to go up. Sorry if this is not complaining, I'm just telling you guys a little bit of a story here first. Okay? That's what this channel, that's what we do here. Anyways, you know, you heal, you get over things, you realize getting old sucks because you don't recover as quick. I'm just gonna move this over a little bit. So okay. So then we're moving the bio walls and I'm up a ladder and the weight of the walls is quite substantial. Going up and down the ladder, I had really pulled it. I slipped a disc again. So I couldn't get out of bed for 2 days. Which sucks. You don't want to be frozen when your mind is racing and you can do so many things, but your body is not able to catch up, or if you ski too much. This is also a thing. Anyhow, safety third, guys. Safety third. It was definitely first on the job site where I was. Had to wear a lot of gear. And wearing glasses and then having safety glasses over top, not a great situation. Looking through multiple pieces of glass. So I think I'm going to buy myself some safety glasses, proper ones with prescription. That's the back arm. I was going somewhere with that, and obviously I lost it. A couple of times I left notes right here so that I could remember what I was talking about. Oh, I didn't even set the time. Guys, I haven't even finished this glass of wine, and I'm losing my mind. Oh, it's full again. Magic. That's what the breaks are for. Oh, I like a white wine. I like a white wine. Doesn't stain the teeth like certain artists in this city. That's why I was inspired to switch to white. And my last girlfriend's family was really into wine, like fancy wine, and they made fun of me for liking white. But what's the real difference? Tannin from the grapes, right? Because the white wine skins don't add the color. Snobbery. So, kind of a negative space shape here. And it fades up into the shadow on the upper arm. Thank you guys all for your comments, your likes. Whoa, my roommate! He's saying it's an early night for him, but he didn't hear me just talk about the renovation that almost broke my back. And it's still not done. But when it's done, aha! That got me back to the bath. Okay, so, you know, I have the habit tracker, and I put a spot that said self-care. And my friend Sarabella, I was doing a yoga challenge with her. You guys know the model, Sarabella. We drew her last couple weeks. And I had sent a picture, and she's like, you know, how do you keep so organized or whatever? And I think that's what I like to share to inspire on the other YouTube channel, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be Tony Robbins here, but I think I figured out some things in my 42 plus years. And the habit tracker is a useful one. Keeps me accountable. And I had a section for self-care, like rest. And for me, it's always been a shower. It's like, get in, get out. You're doing a job. You're cleaning yourself. Perfectionist Virgo loves the shower. Clean, let's go, right? And she pointed out to me that, wow, you know, in the last month, you've only done two bits of self-care. So I also got the Jordan Peterson book, and I'm figuring I got to read this book too. And so combine the efforts. Washing, bathing, relaxing, but also because I had hurt my back and it wasn't moving, I had to have the bath. Harry, you got to get in the bath. You put the Epsom salt in there, like a cup or two. It smells or whatever. The other fun thing, because lots of the girlfriends that I have do those damn bath pictures, Sarabella being one of them, girls in the bath. Girls can get followers so easy on social media by being half naked. That's not going to help me any. Although, it's probably a market for it, actually. Okay, so having the bath, reading the Jordan Peterson, and I get kind of sick, you know, in the bath. Like, I'm like, it's too hot, gonna puke, don't like it. But if I say, well, I can't get out of the bath until I'm done this whole chapter, makes me stay. And I mean, honestly, the water's so hot. If I had a partner, they would be like, Okay, well, I'll use the bathwater after you, which was the old way of doing things. But it's still hot enough to go in. I just can't handle it anymore. But I'm getting my chapters down on the new Jordan Peterson book. So, combining wisdom. It's working for me. So, if I have a chance tonight, probably not. Got to be up early. And when I was at the hotel, I washed the bathtub out. And some of you might have seen my pictures too. Because I also washed my palette in the bathtub. There was no other way to do it. It wouldn't fit in the hotel sink. So you got to wash the bathtub out first. You got to wash the bathtub out first. So sculpting a little bit of the hand. The negative space is quite dark. So I'm not drawing the edge of the fingers. I'm drawing the edge of the dark shape. And I find that that's one of the good tricks with the hands is don't try to draw each bone and each phalange because the hands get too bulky. Squint your eyes, simplify. Our teacher here, Luke, anytime someone asks the guy a question, squint. And he's right. He reminds me constantly to squint, and it works. But we forget sometimes the tricks in our toolkit, guys. Squinting. Give you those beautiful, aged, wise-looking eyes. And that's fine. That's part of our trade. You know, you get rough hands if you're a stonemason like Harry. Get all the chicks and get rough hands. Okay, that hand's pretty good. It looks rather masculine. But this is going to be a tracing, right? So it's good enough for drawing for this session. For the most part, maybe we'll say that this area is done. We got things where we want them. We'll see when we do the comparison what they look like. Maybe I don't like it. I don't know. When I say I don't know, that's when I feel the most like Bob Ross. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know? Happy little tree. So I'm going across the contour. I want to express some of the lines that I see in the compression, but also to give roundness to the form. So with this drawing, I did it kind of like classical drawing, but without so many angles, and kind of like, I don't know, the North American, where you're designing the shapes or you draw mannequinization type idea. So if I go across from the breast, the fold of the arm is a little bit lower than that. And then it turns. That's the squishing of the pec. Then the breast comes down and out. So let's make sure we have an alignment here. We do. I feel like it's gone out a little too far. Might be out a little too far. Okay, like that. And then the core, so I'm using the side of the pencil, of course. So this one may have got too wide, this one may have got too small. We can shove this stuff over. I like to think of it more sculpturally anyhow. This summer, my plan is to, maybe it'll be a live stream, do an écorché. Écorché where, I could do this figure actually. Maybe we'll even bring a model in here. That is when you build your understructure out of metal. And then you build up bone by bone and muscle by muscle, attaching the clay muscles to the insertion points and origins. And you go through and portions of the body are flayed. Écorché actually means flayed. And you can buy them, right? You can buy these anatomy models. But if you go on like anatomytools.com, as I have recently, they are out of stock right now. and hard to get materials and stuff. So I figured, why not just make them ourselves and use it as an opportunity to teach more, to learn more. Being a teacher, your learning never stops. In fact, they say that the best way to learn something is to teach. That's my excuse. So maybe that'll get some people to come hang out in the summer as well. Summers can be a little bit rough here unless I do kids camps, which is not my preference. Though I'm a kid whisperer. When kids are around, I get sick a lot. Little bags of disease, right? And so it's nicer when the adults are around. Knock on wood, I have not gotten sick this year at all. Except, I think, December or whatever. I'm pretty sure most of us had COVID. People were dropping like flies at the studio. But that was before we knew anything that was going on. So I haven't been sick since. Could be all the masks, could be not having kids in the classroom, could be a lot of things. But I don't think it's so bad. People used to go to work or come to classes even when they're sick. And now I feel like the world's changed a little bit. It's more cautious and maybe a bit more understanding. You know, you're not going to get fired if you've got the sniffles, but maybe don't come in. And so many people now have transitioned to more online work. So the breast straight up, we get the divot of the tricep to the acromion process. There's our shoulder girdle. And so I want to get that angle right and then keep it curved. On females, tricep like that. On males, tricep bulgy. And although they are very similar, that treatment is one of the things, like an hourglass shape, that gives you the difference between a masculine looking and feminine looking line quality, right? We are translating this. We're not trying to draw the whole truth. If you have 20 hours, sure. Those atelier style drawings, like what is done in Europe more. Okay, so the other triangulation is a little triangle underneath the collarbone that I want to find. So I do have an indication. If I go across, it's about where the armpit is. It is directly below the ear and above the breast. So that actually even tells me where my ear should be. There's an alignment here. Nipple. Oh God, I guess I shouldn't have said that on YouTube. Move my ear over a little bit. And you should be good at drawing angles. So this triangle that I'm drawing the shadow shape. I'm not drawing the bone. I'm figuring out that it goes this way. It's a good way to think more abstractly. It's funny because a lot of this realism is actually quite abstract. And that's abstraction comes from abstracting nature. Mondrian, you know, you've got the vertical and horizontal lines. It's like, oh, this guy's painting cubes. No, he wasn't painting cubes. For one thing, they're not three-dimensional, they're flat. But if you look at his early work, and I recommend you do, he was a landscape painter. And what did he paint? Trees. So those vertical and horizontal lines represent the trees, and the colors from behind are the light falling through them. So it's an abstraction. It came from nature. All right, so there's our shoulder. And there's a lost edge here with the background. And the great thing about this drawing, because I'm not having to render it, is I don't have to draw all this crap. That is going to be done quickly with paint. Looks to me like my hand is leaning a little much now that I look at it again. We'll do a nice comparison. So if I get a chance before next week, I'll do some repairs after we critique it. I'm sure I'll change some things before we do the tracing. Maybe after I analyze it, I'll put another sheet on top and make corrections or something. We'll see. Like I said, we still don't know what we're doing on these channels half the time. So, I got 10 minutes left. It's only 7:30. We go till 9. Have some more wine. St. Paddy's Day. And chase it with watermelon water. Good drink. This tastes so much like watermelon, but not fake watermelon, that it's weird. But delicious and hydrating. Okay. Let's move on up. There's a curl across the bicep, above where the breast is. That's the shadow. So this is much darker. That is because this part of the body is reflecting light, and this leg is reflecting light up into the arm. So it is shadow, so it needs more material, but it's reflected light. So if I put dark beside, it will help. The thing is the dark beside, which I can designate with a thick dark line, this is all black essentially. So that's the first stuff we're going to paint when we're on our Zorn palette, is we go dark to light. And I'll put the palette here, and I'll actually paint in the seated position as if I'm drawing, so that you guys can see how I do my color mixing. I learned the Zorn palette. I mean, we all learn it many ways, many forms throughout time. I would hope you should really work your Zorn palette. But when I was studying at the Paris Academy of Art under Shane Wolf, I was doing figure painting with him, and he didn't teach it, but because of my Virgo brain and my nature, I had pointed out to him, I'm like, you have a pattern in how you work your palette. Now, he's doing it by feel because he has done it so long, but I noticed and put together, based off what I saw, a system. An organized system on how to make your colors. So pre-making some colors as well, burnt umber and stuff, and then working around the palette. And I think, you know, if you guys enjoy me doing it this way, you might really get a lot out of watching how I really organize. It might be annoyingly organized and tidy way of working. I don't get a lot of paint on myself, and I'm very systematic. And the reason is not that you lose the exploratoriness, and I'm not saying, hey, what you should do is do color strings. It's not like that. You actually dance around the palette quite nicely, but it helps you use your color theory. I also pride myself in being a very tidy painter, and the reason I realized is, when I was growing up, my favorite artist, so like 16 growing up, right? You're like starting to be like, hey, this high school thing is not that bad if I get art class. I loved Dali. And I'm just looking for the neck pit here. The sternocleidomastoid. Kind of goes into this angle. Okay. Anyhow, back to the Dali. I love Dali, and the surrealist of that time, because I was a little punk listening to Nirvana, I think the things go together, really. But I would always see the pictures of the artists of the 1930s and 20s, and they were always in suits. And those of you who knew me since art school, I was a three-piece suit guy, especially Ray. Ray hated that. He hated that my style was so good. And now look, we still live together. Hate turned to love. Anyways, in all the photos, the artists were always in suits. So part of my reason for being tidy is I want to be able to wear a three-piece suit. Now, it might just be that in the time people wore suits, they wore fedoras, I do too, but It might not be that they actually wore that while painting. It might be that it was a big deal to get your photo taken, so they put on their Sunday best probably. It's probably more that factor, is that they're setting up to get the photo rather than actually wearing the nice clothes. They more than likely wore painting smocks. But I want to be able to be clean and organized enough, opposite of most artists that I've met and found. But I find it really works for me, and who knows, it might help you change the way you work. Definitely good for plein air, I tell you, being set up and organized. So we'll see how that goes next week. So the neck is a very complicated area. I would love to do a class just on that. Maybe when we do the écorché, sculpting it. Now the écorché can take a long time. It's not joking around. I'm just taking a measurement of the width of the neck, just to make sure I'm not off base. We're going to make it a little bit thinner because it looks too masculine to me. It is correct, pretty correct, but it looks too thick. So that's just using comparative measurement. So using plumb line to the armpit, that's where my ear lives. So I drew it way over here, and it's actually in between those two. I find that a lot when I'm working, that I overcompensate one way, then I overcompensate the other way, like the three little bears, and then it's just right in the middle. But I haven't been doing a lot of measuring here, just using my eye. When you do the faster drawings, you rely on that, and you rely on the expressiveness of movement. Like, how far is that? Is it this big a line? Is it this big a line? And that's a really nice way to work, even with painting, using the whole arm and the brush. Believe it or not, you know, I feel a lot of pressure when doing these videos. I don't want to suck. There's a, you know, being perceived as a teacher is a little bit dangerous for the ego. I don't have all the answers, and I'm still learning, and it's great to have other great artists around here. Man, Calgary is doing good for the artist, for sure. That we can bounce ideas off each other and use each other's eyes. Sorry, not bouncing the eyes, although that's pretty fun. Guys, 3 more minutes here. So I'm moving slow again up to the head. They make me nervous. This one's crazy too, because we see up and into her nose, and I gotta get those distances right. But for the time being, let's just, in the last 2 minutes, let's just get some indications of the clavicle. The clavicle going across. I think I'll move the neck pit down a little bit. I mean, it's in between those two, just like I was saying. Something like that. So my goal too, guys, for this camping trip is to be able to tell you about all the animals. I've been painting them, and I'm just looking at pictures. And the biologists come in and they okay everything. They have to sign off on it. But I should be learning more animal names and stuff, so that when we see them, can share that knowledge too. Hopefully we see some animals. Maybe not bears. Maybe we don't need to see any bears when we're out there. Or wolverines, or cougars. Flying squirrels, sure. Except they're nocturnal. The campsite there, which is right by the visitor center that we're working on, is right on the lake, which is why you have to book them early. But I'm going to use all my powers and all my new friendships to our advantage. I can caravan some people. I drive a CRV, and it's got a table already built in it. It's ready for camping this year. Went to the Ghost and Sheep Falls last year for camping. I like Crown Land camping. It's freer. Ten seconds here. One more video for you guys. One more of those videos I made. I think it might be kalimba music this time. I don't know what it is. So, okay. This really, oh, there we go. It's not as loud as it usually is. So I'll cue it up. You know, it might be missing too. I did stars, I did triangles, and I did hearts. And we saw, let's try this. Browse. Stars. Let's try this one. This might be it. This might be it, guys. cut. Wait. Okay, we don't have this perfect yet. You see it? I zoomed in. Stop. Okay. And Paula, who gave me this delicious wine, is watching and just sent me a message on Instagram. Thank you. You're watching. Guys, I zoomed in because I am going to work the face now. So hopefully this little change is good for you. And I hope you enjoyed that little flippy animation thing that I made. I think that might be the last one for the night. 7 minutes sometimes seems too long. This drawing is going super quick and well. So in the life drawing situation where we would actually be here, 7 minutes is a great amount of time. You can actually have a conversation with the person next to you. But today, maybe it seems a little long. So, 23 minutes. The last one will be shorter. 8, yeah. Hey, we're doing it. Anyways, guys, I don't know if it's the one or the drawing, but I'm having fun. And I love seeing all your beautiful names up in my YouTube studio. It's St. Paddy's Day. You could be sitting at the ship with plastic in between, with Lexan, or we could be here drawing and doing whatever we want. You don't have to be drawing what I'm drawing today. So let's attempt, without planning and thirds and measures, to just draw this face. It's risky. For example, I think this ear is already too high up. But let's just do it, and then we'll see where we wind up. That's why we have these things, these wonderful erasers. Because I kind of triangulated the ear, we might be able to fit this puzzle piece together. And then after, we'll brutalize ourselves in the critique portion. Because I'll flip this up, we'll look at the screen. I'll try to make the reference image and the drawing there. I mean, I don't mean to draw site size, but I have found that I tend to be very close. You guys who've watched before, you see pretty dead on, and it's not what I mean to do. It's just the relationship. Sometimes I can't get the image to be that size because of whatever image resource I have. But we'll see what happens here today. It's a fun thing about being an artist is like not giving an SHIT and just being like, all right, it's just part of the process, you know, allowing things to happen. Being, you know, if you're a control freak, this is not the career for you because you're just going to be upset the whole time that things don't work out the way you want them to. But if you're free and you can let them be, well, that's where I find a lot of my inspiration comes from. I set up strict rules, and then I'm trapped a little bit, and I feel like that's where inspiration or comes from, and innovation, because you're limited. You know, if you think about Photoshop and like being able to do anything, I feel like that freezes people's capabilities because it's like, well, you can do anything, and then you're like, well, what do I do? One artist, if you guys don't know about him, who I think does really well, is Beeple. Beeple, he's doing digital art, but it still looks like art. It's still drawn, and you know, after 10 years of working hard, he's selling his work for millions of dollars now, like Bitcoin type drawings. But he, it's like finds an image and then he does one every day. So his limitation is the time he has, and also, well, what's going on in society right now. You know, with Photoshop, you can just get lost in there forever because it's like, well, I can do anything with this tool. And I feel like being able to do anything and everything is not great. It doesn't allow you the pressure to create. You have to have some limitations. Time is a limitation. You know, it works on game shows. And I haven't seen it, but you know, that portrait show or whatever, maybe. There's the bottom lip. There's the top lip shadow. Let's hope this works out. The nose is below the back part of the shadow of this mandible here, which actually should be in front of the ear a little bit more. Okay, let's see if this works. By using the angles, now the nose, if I take this line and come down, that's where the nose comes from. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. I don't have a very sharp point. Oh, let's hope I don't offend Marla here. Noses, huh? Can be a real point of contention. We're seeing up into her brain, the nostril. The nostril to me often looks like a comma or a bean. So draw it like that. Draw what you see, not what you know sometimes, right? Marla's got a great bridge on her nose too, which is here it's reduced. So right now I feel like it's wrong, but it might not be at all. Like this is such an odd angle. I haven't trained it. You know, a lot of other angles that I have are in my memory, so I can invent with it. Here the eye is like starts way up here, lower than the ear still. Whew. And it's almost straight. Not looking bad. Let me zoom in deeper. We got that technology here? We have it. It looks like a squishy face right now. It really does. But we might be okay. I'm going to move the eye up a little bit. We'll see how we go here. We'll see how we go here. Where's that regular eraser? Maybe I'm overcompensating and not giving her enough nose. There's a shadow here. Along the glabella. Maybe we need a little bit more nose here. Man, that is one crazy angle. Love it though. I had done a drawing months back, 3 different times, 3 different views of this beautiful sculpture from Musée d'Orsay. And it was Eve with the peach at the bottom and the snake. And this pose is quite similar. We can look back to that in the archives if need be. YouTube didn't get rid of that one. And there's something beautiful about also being below your sculpture. So our eye line is about, actually I'd say it's a little bit lower. It's probably about here in this photo. And so we're seeing up into her jaw. And we're below the figure. When you're below a figure, it gives it more power. Just think like the queen, you know, you're always sitting below. You know, here she's a muse. She's raised above us in importance. Something to think about when posing models yourself or when choosing the angles. I decided when I opened the school here, and for other technical reasons, to do what is referred to in the art world as Roman height. So my model stand is quite tall. In part, my reasoning was that the donkeys or the drawing horses that I designed would allow for people to stand behind at easels. So in part, I wanted to squeeze in as many people as possible because I need to cover minimum just to stay open $3,000 a month. That's not with model fees or any of that stuff. So I do need to get more people in here. And the last 7 months or more has not been that at all. But don't worry, we'll still be here. Bunny is a good saver. And I'm not giving up on the stream, and you guys help keep it alive. It will be sad to not have this live stream, actually. But maybe I'll do like a Sunday edition. I don't want to rope you guys into more stuff than is necessary. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you, Jeff. Sorry I'm late on that. The style is different, and it's turning out all right. It's nice when artists that you respect remind you that you don't suck. Jeez, this has been done with the dull pencil too, which is amazing. And actually, you guys are seeing a weird angle of this, but it doesn't look that bad. I promise. This angle is so weird. Something that I might have to practice. So the forehead ends before the top of the helix of the ear. The hair comes down. There's kind of this shape. Boy, oh boy. I made her look like someone else I know. So, let's just get some hair. I like to draw hair with the side of the pencil and really be flowy and expressive with it. This isn't sharp enough to do my technique of getting texture in the hair, so it's gonna all be in shadow anyhow. We'll let the paint do that job with swooshes. So I did move her eye up, and I don't know that it's correct, so I'll move it back down a little bit. We can see a little bit of the eyebrow up here, so I mean, it's respectable. There's definitely a bigger angle jutting back to the chin here. It can be studied more, but for now we leave it and move on to some other things because I'm watching the time. It's 8:09 and we only go till 9. And we can work out some of this stuff later. I have discovered that the body is too far over for how wide I've made it. So when I do the painting, I'll shift this over a little bit, I think. I mean, I can do it in the drawing. It just depends if we have enough time here. If I can, maybe like I'll turn out the lights, and I don't know if we can, if the TV's bright enough to see it like a tracing. So I'll just tilt this camera down over my head. Don't fall on me, please.